Welcome to the Waves of Change podcast, where we aim to inspire the listener to awaken to their purpose and take the action required to live life on their own terms. My name is Darragh Byrne, confidence and mindset coach, speaker, entrepreneur and humanitarian. I will be sitting down with creators from all walks of life who grew through the waves of change in their lives to be making the impact in the world they are today. We acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation as the traditional custodians of the country we are speaking on today. We recognise their continued connection to the land and waters and thank them for protecting this coastline and its ecosystem since time began. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging and extend that respect to all First Nations people who may listen today. Let me first welcome Frankie, the man, the mountain, the absolute inspiration. Thank you for being here on the Waves of Change podcast. Is Frankie at present and his incredibly powerful, ferocious queen, Taylor, full name, are my mentors at the minute, and / families for freedom. Also mentors. Also equals it's not a hierarchical system. It's a community of like-minded, incredibly heart-centered families that envision a better world for our children. So Frankie, without further ado, man, thanks again for being here. I did offer to help when we were coming back down the coast with whatever you might need help with your move or your unpack or whatever. But yeah, I got to understand it's a bit too stressful to just
Oh yeah. Thanks for having me on, brother. Honestly, it's when you reached out, bro, I make space for family anytime, man, and let's do this. What the magic that you guys bring, your family, the Irish flair. I love it. I absolutely love it what you guys are doing. And it's something different and it's beautiful in every sense of the way. And just to be in this beautiful container with you, not only as you said, and as mentors, that hierarchy, there's none of that. It's all family, it's all soul family. And just to walk alongside you guys and your beautiful family in our, Families for Freedom container, it's pure magic to watch and witness, bro. So props to you guys and so much love to you guys.
Thanks, brother. Frankie, can you tell us a bit about your background, where you come from, and your childhood? Excuse me.
Yeah, let's do it. Born and raised in Sydney, Australia, Western Sydney. Both my parents are from Samoa, so obviously have that Samoan blood within me. Footy, a lot of people might know me from my professional sporting journey, but footy was a big driver, not only in my household, but a lot of Pacifica families. We struggled as a family to make ends meet. Both my parents were working 2-3 jobs each just to put food on the table. So there was always that sacrifice from a very young age that I got to witness, and my siblings got to witness. A lot of trauma coming up, a lot of pressure to provide not only for the family, but my parents were very much enriched in the church system. So always trying to provide, for Sunday offerings and stuff like that. I got to witness, which was, it was an eye opener at a young age. Struggling to put food on the table, but always managed to, I guess, contribute in that sort of sense. And for me, footy was an outlet, definitely an outlet growing up. As I said, I witnessed a lot of trauma growing up as a kid. And for me, just to get away from all of that and just play footy with my mates and just be a kid, was such a beautiful and integral part of my upbringing. Just to have a laugh with the boys and, just feel free. And, I was very, very fortunate, that my talents, my natural born talents, sort of developed as I got older, and there's something in this. I could actually make a career out of this, and I started getting attention from clubs, and I was signed to the Sydney Roosters at 14 years old. They gave me a contract, a development contract, and basically it was a massive weight off my parents' shoulders, being a 14-year-old where a club signed me on and paid for all my tuition fees and all my sporting fees. So it was just a massive weight off my parents' shoulders, which was, you know, something that I was very proud of, that I could help them provide at such a young age. But also, as I got older, you know, the money started to get a bit more serious and a bit more, I guess, higher in wage. And then, yeah, you know, I just decided to go 100 with footy. There was a lot of pressure there. I thought, you know, as a kid, you know, my dad, you know, put a lot of pressure on me. He wouldn't have known it, to be honest.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he obviously just parenting me from his own experiences. But yeah,
yeah.
looking back, and man, damn, bro, like you put me under the pump. And it's made me the man that I am now, especially being a father of two boys. So yeah, you know, I debuted professionally. I'll go back a bit. I straight out of high school, I went straight into full-time training. So I finished year 12. You know, never worked a day in my life, and then went into a full-time system. And I'm training with guys like Brad Fittler, Anthony Minicello, big names, Luke Rickerson, all these legends that I've looked up to my whole life. I was in the system. You know, Ricky Short was the coach. I went straight to full-time training. So I'm an 18-year-old, you know, pimply kid training with, like, you know, showering and calling these guys my mates. You know what I mean?
Legends.
It was eye opener, to be honest. But yeah, so grateful for my experience, and then to go on and debut in 2008 for the Bulldogs, my hometown. I grew up in Western Sydney, in Canterbury Belmore Sports Ground. It was literally, you know, 2 minutes down the road. So yeah, it was a dream come true, and then my career prospered and went over to England and played over there in the English Super League for 5-6 seasons. Then Tay and I got married in 2013. Then I made the switch to rugby union and played in Japan. We were living over there for 2.5 years. Beautiful culture, beautiful people. And then came back with Australian Rugby Sevens. And then went back to the NRL. So, man, I've been everywhere. And yeah, to be honest, yeah, my wife has definitely held that all together, bro. And, you know, she's seen me at my worst. She's seen me at my best. And at the start of our journey, we were just two naive kids just living life. And we had no idea about life really and health and where we're at now. Like, just to look back from our journey from then to now, it's like, man, there's two completely different humans.
Wow,
So
wow.
as I said,
Huge.
bro, just so grateful for this journey.
Yes.
And I hope all that makes sense. I've been everywhere.
Yeah, it does. I've taken a couple of notes. I don't have no. I've decided not to have notes and just allow conversations to flow, and take notes as
That's the way to do it, brother.
instead of interrupting you on your flow. So, just to bring it all the way back, childhood trauma is what I work with mostly with all of my clients, and not all, like, a lot of people are under this perception that childhood trauma or any trauma is horrific and gruesome. Sometimes it can be as little as you know, being picked last or being left out of something, or your father putting extra pressure on you to be the best and leaving no room for error and saying, oh, you know, you need to go out and run an extra 10 miles or whatever it is. It's and then that's downloading the program that you're not good enough at where you are at right now. So thanks for presence in that, Frankie, because it's huge. And we now, where we're at today, and with this conscious awareness we now find ourselves with through doing this internal work, we get to be the chain breakers. So now for your beautiful young children, and congratulations on the pregnancy, the one who is yet to come. Full surprise.
Could be 3. Who knows? We haven't had a scan. You know, wife is going for that free birth, and man, I'm here to support that and hold that space, brother. So yeah, could be any number.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Well, congratulations, and let me just highlight that while we're on it. So you guys are deciding not to have any medical, scans.
Yeah, no
My
scans.
partner's the same, but we end up having some scans.
For third time round, I think we're at a beautiful space where we can really hold that and have confidence in our, innate strength and power to really bring forth this new baby, whether it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows? I'll let the listeners know in 8 months' time. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. And I must ask, how does it feel to be in that level of uncertainty? I mean, with by choice as well.
Yeah. Well, I've had some good experience with the first two births.
Uh-huh.
Ziggy, we wanted a home birth. Everything was prepping along really, really well. We were, in the pool, had our private midwives there, but something just wasn't feeling right for Tay. And I think she sort of had that intuitive kick, like, I think we better go to the hospital, which was always our, plan A2. I don't like to call it plan B, plan C. It's always plan A1, plan A2, plan A3. So we had that already lined up, and luckily enough, it was a cesarean birth. But when the doctors presented Ziggy to us, he had his cord around his neck, so he knew if he opened her up and sort of came through the canal, like something would have went down. So yeah, it was just all by by guidance, by design, that we transferred to the hospital, which was already organized in case plan A2 was developing. But with Hendrix, our second born, and that was a beautiful healing journey for my wife. It was an all natural home birth, exactly the way that she wanted to bring Ziggy into the world, but it wasn't meant to be. But with birth of Hendrix, he was born in our bedroom, literally, right on our sort of spare area of our bedroom, in the water pool. So yeah, just to witness her and full power, man, and that was like respect. Like, oh man, I got so much respect for women and their bodies and all the strength that they have to bring life into this world, man. As a man, you think we're powerful, but bro, we're nothing.
It's
We're honestly nothing.
bullshit, man.
Yeah, it
We
is.
think
It
that
is
we're
legit.
yeah, and
Yeah, and then sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go on, brother. Oh no, I was just gonna say, and obviously with those two experiences, I think for the third time round, I think it's definitely done. We've done enough training, done enough preparation, and yeah, as I said, so confident in our bodies and the human bodies, and our strength and our power as a unit. Because obviously, I'm going to be there and really holding that powerful space for it. And I think we are ready, and we have beautiful friends who are doulas, who are midwives, who are giving us so much support. It's not like it's just me and her doing this with blindfolds on. We're actually we're cultivating that community to really guide us every step by step.
Yeah, I really, really have deep reverence and connection to everything you spoke into there, because we've had two home births. We had the one was in the birthing suite, although it was part of the hospital. It was still separate wing, I think it's called, or whatever. And we went through that process, and that's another day's story, because there was an obstetrician outside the door who kept, so the midwife was incredibly, really calm, really supportive, really beautiful and kind, but she kept trying to intervene in the process, and
Okay.
it was like, it was both. I was just supporting my queen, and we have a doula, and thanks to her, Kat, if you ever listen. But the one outside the door kept sending the other one in, the midwife in, to do an intervention, and that was one of the main things. No intervention was going to be 100% natural, unless we were not rigid, but unless it came to whatever, like an emergency, or in case we needed to pivot, we were open to that as well. But eventually, Saoirse cracked off. She's like, "I'm fucking telling you, I'm pregnant, and it's coming now." And as soon as she did that, like, the midwife backed off. But that went on for a while, and then the second Bodhi, we had him upstairs in the bedroom here, and yeah, like I called it for weeks. I said, I guarantee he's gonna come. Well, we didn't know it was a boy or a girl, so I guarantee whoever comes, it will be around sunrise time. And he came under a full moon, the exact same as Fia. The exact same. We were down on the beach, down on Bronte Beach. The whole thing, it started to happen. The movement, the waters, all of that type of thing. So, and then
the waves.
The waves, and the waves of change is the name of the podcast. So, and then we come home. There was a house party upstairs, and like, we loved the party. So they were banging out all the best tunes. It was like full moon, and we're like, yeah, this is so good.
Bring it on.
And then literally, as the magic of it all unfolded, like, by the time Bodhi was born, Fia was in the room next door. The midwives called over, and Fia woke up and came in just like maybe about a half an hour after Bodhi was born, and that innate wanting to be beside Mammy, but witnessing Saoirse in that power in the pool, the sun started to rise. Bro, the sun when everything was cleaned up, the sun rose because we can see over the ocean here. We're in Waverley, so we're looking right over the ocean. So all of that came and the magic of it all, and then women again. It's like men who believe that they're like more powerful than women. It's like it's just it's an insignificance in my eyes. It's like we can't operate without the other, but also to have that level of power to bring spirit into life, to bring spirit into 3D. It's and the pain and the process they go through. It's the what I find is that the strength of that innate, like the what's it called, that innate power or strength that they have, primal, that's it, that primal strength that you can see in their eyes. It's like poof.
The first birth with Ziggy, man, I was a mess. I was just nonstop crying because I just felt so helpless. I felt so helpless. Like I wanted to protect her. I wanted to just take that pain for her, but knowing full well this is her journey. She needs to go through this, and I'm just got to be her rock and support. And if I'm a mess, then you know what kind of vibes am I giving off to her? So for that second birth, man, I was like a rock. I was like, all right, let's do this. I got you. And yeah, like you said, that primal power just being unleashed. You know, I'll never forget the moment when Tay was birthing our second Hendrix in the room, and just the look. I was like, wow, man, this chick would literally run through a brick wall. Legit, she was just all the veins just popping out. I was like, wow, this is epic. Full power.
Yeah, this is your life. This is my life. I had a period of a stage during the first one, and during that primal Saoirse being full in her power like that, I got very aroused, right? I got very aroused.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? But there's obviously Saoirse, and then there's Kat the doula, and then the midwife was there too. And I'm like, well, what do I say here? What the fuck? You know, I'm here with 3 women. So I just told her to go, Saoirse, oh my God, you're fucking so sexy. And she's like, she was like, what? I love you, but get the fuck away from
me. Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's
so that was
cool.
funny. Anyways, let's take it back and quickly. Just want to, you mentioned something about the growing up in the church environment, and then sport was your outlet from that. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, well, with the outlet, which wasn't only just the church, it was more of just like the household, the trauma, like the what I was witnessing as a kid, you know, and well, not just my household, but you know, my extended family. Footy was just the place where I could go and just let go of all that stress and all those images and those experiences that I was witnessing at such a young age, you know, with violence, with everything. Alcohol abuse. It was just, footy was just my go-to. Like, okay, I can just be a kid, man, run free and have none of that stress or none of that pain follow me. And that's why I really, you know, I loved it. I could never say no to sport, whatever it was. Footy was obviously my main sport, but just to be amongst kids and free-spirited kids, where you could just tell that, okay, their life's a bit different to mine, but I can, you know, I can be myself around them, and it's just good to know that they weren't sort of going through those experiences too. So, you know, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change nothing of it, to be honest. Like it made me who I am. You know, the good sides, the bad sides, the ugly sides, the sad sides. It's definitely made me who I am. It's given myself the resilience, and it's built me to be this character where, you know, I really emphasize with people hurting, and I want to help them and nurture them and find solutions for them. And I guess it's sort of translating to what I'm doing now. And as I said, I'd never change any of that experience, even though it was hard as a kid and growing up in those kind of households. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And my parents were just parenting, and my aunties and uncles and everyone was just parenting from their own experiences. And a lot of that it's got to do with how they're brought up in the islands, and they're very, heavy-handed. It's tough love,
Yeah,
straight up
yeah.
tough love. And it sort of I can resonate with a lot of the Pacifica boys now playing footy. We've had some unfortunate suicides, coming up the grades, and I've heard of a lot of the boys just find like there's no outlet. They've sort of felt like they've let their family down by not cracking it, by not making it, by
Oh,
not achieving these beautiful goals that their parents really want them to achieve. And like this is how we get out of that stress of just trying to provide. If my son can make it and earn the big bucks or whatever it is, that sense of failure. I really, my heart breaks for all those families that go through that stuff, because I was, I never contemplated any of that, to be honest. I always had beautiful support. As I said, my parents loved me, but it was just tough love that was really at the forefront of their minds. I just to have that sort of beautiful support, I'd never sort of contemplate any of that sort of actions, but I just want to just send my love and all my prayers out to all those families who just felt like they had nowhere to turn. But yeah, it's tough, it's sad, and it's a conversation that I really want to start having with parents, and including my own parents now, because my parents are just so different from that sort of time in my life. When I was growing up, man, it's like, are these guys the same people? Look, my little brother, he's way younger than me. He's 23, 22 this year. Like, he's so different. He's a spoiled brat, man. And honestly, if I did anything like of the things that he did when I was growing up, man, I'll be black and blue for weeks. But it's the times are changing. My parents are getting older, and they realize,
So
shit, man, I think we got to pivot, we got to change. And yeah, just so proud of their own journeys, to be honest.
yeah, incredible. I want to stay on that, but quickly ask you a question. When you say you've no such thing as a plan B, it's all A1, A2, A3. Give us a quick reason for that.
I think that's just through footy, through sporting. I feel like a lot of my lessons through life, I can always bring it back to sport, and teamwork, and being up against it, backs against the wall, just really trying to push through. How bad do you want it? I always say, there's no shortcut to a place worth going. And I really feel that in every sense. Like if you really want this, you've got to do the work, whatever that looks like, whether that's inner work, unlearning, facing off with your demons, just really being honest and transparent, and being open to say, you know what, man, I dropped the ball, man, I fucked up. I need to be better. And then also just asking for help. I think that's one thing as men, especially, we always try and do things ourselves. And we've got a lot of ego, a lot of pride, man. Fuck this, man. Whatever, I can do it, I'll figure it out. But sometimes you literally don't have the answers. You've got to outsource. You're not giving your power away. You're just, just trying to, mold your power in a sense. Okay, I might learn this way. This guy's doing it. Okay, I might just ask for a bit of help, and he might give me that one little gem that I can figure out my own way to do things. And that's the beauty of life. But yeah, just really encouraging all the men out there just to be open and transparent.
Yeah, 100% resonate with that, Frankie. And that's literally the reason I'm sitting in this seat today. It's and I come from a similar background with the alcohol and the the childhood traumas and things like that. And yeah, for men especially, it's always been my thing that if I can speak out whatever way I speak, if anybody can take any inspiration from that to go and speak their truth and just be held. So it's like, I think it's a conversation that gets to be normalized, because people in a society where people are afraid to open their mouth, or would rather go to a graveyard than open their mouth to something really fucking broken here. Yeah, so thanks for presence in that. And then with that as well, like going into the Roosters, I think was your first main club. So going into these big rugby and rugby unions and traveling the world with all of these legends, like absolute legends of the game, you trying to find your way in this full masculine testosterone busting environment. What is it like to like this level of openness and this mindset? Was that always with you, even from a young age, and in that type of environment?
Yeah. Obviously, I could confine in my own. I feel like I'm always comfortable around my own people, to be honest. Pacific Islanders, anyone. But I'm a people person. I can get along with anyone. But yeah, to say no, there's no way. To answer your question shortly, no, I was never this open about things, about life, about feelings. I would always sort of keep that stuff to myself. But I'm a very emotional person. I'm one of those guys that watch a movie and I start crying. Honestly, at the click of the fingers, if there's like a moment, like, oh man, that's beautiful. Like I just really feel for that. Yeah. And I think that sort of goes. My eldest Ziggy is definitely the same on that wavelength. But being amongst that environment and that community as such a young age, 18 years old, seeing all these legends, it was different, man. It was an eye opener. A lot of people really do. And when I say people, I mean like the general public. They really do put these people on a pedestal, a massive pedestal. And so be it. They're legends of the game. They've definitely earned their stripes on the field. But yeah, off the field is a different story. I saw things in those circles that like, man, what the heck is going on here? And that's a different world. And I really what I'm trying to do now is really trying to break that stigma, that stereotype of footy players, of masculine, because there are beautiful humans involved in the game. And they're really in touch with what's going on and their feelings, and you can tell they're really trying to be a conscious parent. But there's also some buffheads who really fit the bill and are your typical bloke rugby player that just goes out on the booze every weekend, womanizers, and love partying, love drugs, love everything like that, and that's really crazy, And I always wanted to hold myself in a beautiful example, and I think the people that I've been involved with throughout my career can really look at me and say, okay, Frankie was definitely true to himself. I was never involved in any of that, and it's not to say that I'm better than them or that I was judging them. That like they're on their journey, and I love them no matter what on the field. We're teammates. And I can just be myself, and I'm comfortable with that. But at a young age, when I first went to the Roosters, I was definitely trying to mix and mingle, trying to be cool, and trying to do all those things. And I was definitely falling down traps left, right, and center with women especially, and relationships, and just treating women like a piece of meat, really. And I look back on those times in my life, and like, man, I really was an arsehole. I was a rat bag. And, to anyone listening out there who, I just really, really want to apologize to all those women. And I've done a lot of work where I've just like, I release all that. That wasn't me. That was a hurt little boy who was just,
I love it.
Taking out all my, I guess, anger and insecurities out on these, innocent women and ladies and whatnot. And it's just, wow, man, I'm just so really grateful. The more I think about that is the more I'm just so grateful and proud of myself to find out where I am right now with the wife that I have and the family that that I have and the work that I'm doing in this world.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I just want to commend you on that, bro. For we've been similar, and yeah, it's like a little egocentric know-it-all that wants to prove himself to the big boys.
Yeah.
But as you go through life, and it's one, it's both for yourself, mainly for yourself, but then obviously the people that you're treating in a different way. But and then it leads to what it really is a deep wound within yourself that you're trying to fulfill. So tell us about your accomplishments in the game. What was your biggest accomplishments?
I think for me personally was playing in 2 World Cups for Samoa. So, Rugby League World Cups.
Yeah.
Just to put that, that jersey on and just to really make my parents proud. And I know they were always proud of my career, but I think playing for Samoa was, that really the icing on the cake. And I think honestly, like my whole career is just a highlight to me, to be honest. Just not only the the teams that I played for, but it's just the countries and cultures I got to experience. Every little detail of, you know, Japan, of France, my experience in France has just been such a beautiful experience. And I think it's well-rounded, like well-roundedly shaped me into the people that I have. I have life experience, and, you know, Taylor was with me the whole way. So we were like living life in England. I was, you know, 20, 21. She was like 18, 19. When we first went to England back in 2009, I think it was, mate. It was just me and her. We moved all the way across the world, and, you know, we broke up that many times. I was like, pack your bag, see you later, go home. But she never left. We were just being kids, you know. We just had no idea what we were doing, but we always, you know, knew that there was something between us that was special, and, you know, we'll fight for it, you know, tooth and nail. And yeah, it's like I said, just Japan was beautiful, beautiful country, beautiful culture, beautiful food. And France was the icing on the cake when I decided to play over there. And then, yeah, I had a couple more years left on my deal. But then, yeah, I just decided to call it quits at the start of this year and just come home.
Yeah. Before we go on to that, how long were you in Japan for, and who were you playing for there?
I was playing for a team called Kintetsu Liners based in Osaka. So, funny story, I actually signed for a team back in England in rugby league, Bradford Bulls, for the 2014 season. But we got married in Samoa. So we're in Samoa in December after the 2013 World Cup. I get a text off my agent saying, call me. So I give him a call in Samoa. We're on the beach. I've got no shirt. I've got my sarong on, my lover. Give him a call. And I go, mate, what's happening? And he's like, mate, you wouldn't believe it, but I've just had an offer come through for you in Japan playing rugby union. And listen, at that time, I hadn't played rugby union since I left high school. So that was a good, 5 years? No, it was good. Like, it's good 8 years. 2004, I finished high school, and this is in 2013. So it's been a while. And he was like, mate, I think you should take it. And the money was, you know, decent, and it was really good. But it was more the opportunity. I was like, you know what, fuck it. We've got no kids. We just got married. Yeah. I think Japan's going to be a beautiful place to spend our honeymoon period. I was like, all right, let's do it. And yeah, just so grateful. Made some beautiful friendships over there, and highly recommend the people. I just can't get over the people. You know, many a times I lost my wallet in the taxi coming home blind. The next day, I wake up, walk downstairs to my apartment, going through the concierge, and there's my wallet full of money. Like, someone's brought it back.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, what a country. Yeah.
Yeah, and the food and everything there. What's that like?
Yeah, just sushi nonstop, man. We love sushi. So it's beautiful ramen, all the noodles, the udon. It's unbelievable. Food is so fresh over there, and yeah, I just can't get over the people. They're just so friendly. And I read a beautiful article this morning. What's happening, obviously, with the COVID situation right now worldwide, but how the Japanese government is not implementing any mandates. It's up to the people to choose what they want. Wow. And I go, man, this is the way it should be. They're not coercing, they're not forcing anyone. If someone feels like they should get it, then they'll get it. If they don't, then they don't. Because I've got a lot of rugby boys over there still playing the game who are like-minded, and, you know, definitely don't want to take the jab at the moment. And they're say, man, it's so good over here. We've had no pressure from any of the clubs. It was just loving life. I go, bro, stay there as long as you can.
That's amazing. What's the weather like over there?
All four seasons.
All 4 seasons.
Summer's stinking hot, humid, and winter's snowing. So it's beautiful country.
Yeah, I seen is it the Rugby Sevens World Cup? They seem to be on there a lot. Is that right?
Okay. In Japan?
Yeah. Like, do they host them?
No, they're Hong Kong. You're probably thinking of.
Oh, Hong Kong is it? Okay.
Sevens?
Yeah. I have to admit, I don't know the difference between rugby union, rugby league, and then I know that
AFL?
they're different now. No, not AFL. Any of those. Just the different rugbies. To me, I'm a football man. For me, it was always just rugby, you know. But when I came to Australia, then I got to understand that there's more. But I don't know the difference with the rules and stuff like that. Can you give us a quick highlight of that?
It's definitely the first and foremost. There's 15 players in rugby union, whereas rugby league's 13 players. Rugby league, there's 6 tackles. So after the 6th tackle, you've either got to kick it or you change over to the opposition. Whereas rugby union, you can have the ball for, you know, a good 5-minute spell if you just retain the ball, ruck
Yeah,
it
yeah.
out, and whereas you can try and steal it in rugby union, and then you go from defense to attack, and you're always on the go. And it's one thing when first started playing union in Japan, Taylor was like, man, I didn't even know where you were. I didn't know what was happening because she had no idea about the rules too. And in rugby league, I'm an edge back rower in rugby league, so I always like plot on the left hand side of the field. So she always knows where I'm going to be because I just work that channel. Whereas rugby union, I'm everywhere. I'm like kicking, chasing. I'm like left, right, and I was just so hilarious just watching her transition and learn the game.
So is rugby union, is that more the international one? Is that like the All Blacks?
Yeah, I'll definitely, yeah, All Blacks. I'll definitely say rugby union is more international. I think, I think they're way ahead of the game in terms of nurturing worldwide competition. Whereas rugby league, it's mainly, New Zealand, Australia, England. That's probably the top three. Obviously, Tonga, Samoa is starting to pick up some more recruits because a lot of players are dropping back. They're deciding to pay for the Pacific Nations, which is amazing.
That's incredible.
But rugby union, you can find yourself playing in Argentina, in Sri Lanka, anywhere really. Everyone's playing the game. Russia, so that's awesome.
Yeah, wow, I love Sri Lanka. We went there on unexpectedly a few Christmases ago, and it was
cool.
Brain was blown wide open. We had the best time. We stayed with a Sri Lankan family.
Oh, beautiful. I went there one time when I was a kid. I was there for 4 weeks. My grandparents took me over there. One of my uncles was working for Telecom New Zealand, and so he was doing all the phone lines.
Oh,
and as you said, they put him in that beautiful house, and they had like a Sri Lankan maid. Her name was what was her name? Bilma. Yeah, she was wonderful. We had puppet arms, and she called me Master Frankie. I was probably like maybe 8 years old. I remember the whole trip. It was awesome.
Just buzzing. And my nephew, right, is a professional football player, and his first professional contract was with Aston Villa in the UK, in England, and he's still a professional today. But that's part of. I used to live, eat, sleep, breathe football, the news, the gossip, the speculation, all of it.
What are they called? The trade deadlines? The
transfer deadline day. Yeah.
Man, they're the best.
I used to watch that like all day, like nearly 20 hours on that day. It's like now looking back, it's just like because it's the same news. This is might change a little snippet from time to time, but it's the same news. How much of my time did I waste? But what I got to see from him being on that side of the game was I got to see the underbelly. I got to see what the business side of football really looked like and how little they cared for players and how. Like it's a career that you're constantly on eggshells. If you get a 5-year contract, well and good. But if you get a 2 or 3-year contract, you just don't know. And I started to see, some of the situations with my nephew first off, but then I'd hear about the other players. And, when they're coming into the end of their contracts and the level of pressure and the mental weight of contracts and not knowing where you're going to be and this, that, and the other. Where your life is going to end up. Are you a failure? And all of that type of stuff is the business side of rugby similar like that. And do the players go
100%.
through that same mental battle?
Yeah, well, I definitely can speak firsthand on that. I never, probably my longest deal was always 2 years, to be honest. And when it comes to contract time, it's the unknown and the stress and like, fuck, if I finish up now, if no one picks me up in the next 3 weeks, I'm basically not getting paid next month. And, I was never on massive wage in my whole career, to be honest, compared to, the guys on $1 million a year. But, just that unknown and, it was really character building. And just, again, I'm just, so grateful for my wife. She was always saw the brighter side of things and, really trusted in me that something's going to come. Like, just never lose faith that someone will pick you up. You know your worth, know your value, and the right move will come. So I can definitely resonate with that because, as you said, like it's a business first and foremost, and you're just a piece of meat. If you're not a Ronaldo, if you're not a Messi, you're replaceable. The next Frank Winterstein's coming up. You know what I mean? And they can flick you off and then get someone else a bit younger, buy them a bit cheaper, develop them, and then there you go. You're basically the same product. So it's so cutthroat, and I think that's something where NRL at the moment is doing okay in regards to mental health and preparing the players for life after footy. I was definitely proactive, and I put my hand up to learn and to do courses in any spare time. But I know some players who are just living contract to contract, living month to month, who have footy is their everything. They in their heads they think footy is going to last forever, but that isn't the case. And you see it so many times when guys finish up, they're just lost for the next 12, 24 months because they've lost their routine, they've lost their group, the network, they've been kicked out of the group chat. They're basically gone from a first grade player walking on the streets, getting hellos, to walking on the streets after they finished up and no one looking at them twice. And that's a real massive ego death and a real transition that these players need to go through. And if they don't have the right support, then they basically have to fend for themselves. And some of the guys really dive deep into depression and just struggling to think, fuck, my whole life has been taken away from me like that. And it's different. And then you're home more often. You actually got to hang out with the missus and kids, and like, it's for some families, if the guys aren't used to that life, like they struggle, because obviously as a professional sportsman, you're out a lot of the times of the week. In November we start training, and then your season's not finished till October the next year, so you're always doing something. You got your schedule planned out for the next 3-4 weeks. Exactly what time you got off, you can organize this, organize that. Now you're like, fuck, I'm at home, I didn't do much course, I got no trades under my belt, what should I do? So they're doing a lot of support in that sense, the NRL, with transitioning out of the game. But I think a lot of the ownership comes down to the boys also, just to be prepared for life after, because footy only lasts so long, and you're one injury away from that all blowing up to pieces. So
thanks for presence of that. Something that just dropped in from above as you were speaking. As you were saying, like, a lot of people today in the age of information, and also the distraction, the age of information and distraction, a lot of humans don't know how to be with themselves today.
Oh yeah.
Just be with themselves. So we're left alone with their own thoughts, especially after going from hero to zero, everybody singing their name, to nobody saying hello to you on the street. It's a long crash.
Yeah, and for sure. And it's just, I guess, the boys, getting their tool belt full of outlets to know when stuff like that arises. Okay, I can lean into my support network here down at the community center, or I can lean into a trade, or I can lean into just hobbies, like stuff that you actually like doing when you're growing up as a teenager. Like, I could work on a car, I can do something, keeping my hands busy, because as you said, our minds, we're so stimulated as footy players. We're always on the go, we're always looking for the next rush, we're always chasing that adrenaline kick. And when all those lights are turned off, you're like, wow,
it's
okay,
the identity. The identity crisis. If I'm not that person, who the fuck am I? A lot of people get lost in that. And something, as you were speaking there as well, your wife Taylor, her formula came to mind. It's faith plus action equals miracles. Is that right? So I just wanted to presence that. That dropped in as you were speaking. And just for the listener as well, Frankie, who has been in the game. What age are you, Frankie?
How old am I? Oh, it's my birthday tomorrow, brother.
Happy birthday,
35.
bro.
Yeah, 35, bro. Man, I feel it. Still feeling good,
you don't
brother.
look it. If for anyone who's listening that doesn't know Frankie, he is huge. I have to say, when I went over to say hello to you at that Brett facilitation,
At Dan's,
Dan's, I was like, I couldn't believe how big you were, to be honest. And at first I was going to say, fuck, you're a monster. And, I was like, nah, you can't say that to people, so in case there's a complexion. But anyways, Frankie, 35. So just what I'm coming back to here is all the way back as well, because in society today, people put people of your stature and professional sports people on this pedestal.
Yeah.
But really behind the scenes, if you really knew what their life looked like and sounded like behind the scenes, because a lot of people give that judgment and give all the power away to that system because they believe they're better than them because they're playing a game or singing a song or whatever it is. Yeah, what would you say to people that you know, buy into that whole pedestal thing, and also
Yeah.
comparing themselves to those on the pedestal?
Yeah. Well, it's like what, 7.5 billion people in the world, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably more. You know, you're one of one. You're literally one of one. Out of all those numbers, you are one of one. You know, we are human too. Like all these people you put on a pedestal, they are human. You know, they fuck up, they make mistakes, they're not perfect, they shit. You know, they do everything. They're not this beautiful image of success. And I think you got to really know that you are special in your own unique way. Whatever lights you up deep down inside, whether that be art, whether that be singing, whether that be sport, or whatever it may be, maybe just, you know, childcare. There's some beautiful things going on in childcare right now. A lot of homeschooling facilities being birthed. Whatever lights you up, I think find that passion and just keep doing it. You know, there's right now, I think a lot of people are just in a system working at a job that they don't like, and it's reflecting in their outside life. It's reflecting in their home life, and it's really sad. And I get it. Like people are just trying to make ends meet and earn some money, but you have to be bold. You have to be brave. You have to take risks to do and chase your passion, to do what you want, and you can actually claim back and, you know, really bring in all that life force, all that power that you have, and claim it all back and funnel it in a way that lights you up, and you can have financial success through that. You know, you're not working for anyone else, and it's just following all those passions. And I really, I think putting people on pedestals is the number one ball breaker right now. You know, we're putting doctors on pedestals, we're putting all these premiers and all these members of parliaments on pedestals to try and bring back the new normal, whatever that bullcrap is, man. And honestly, for me and our family, we're doing it ourselves, bro. We're not waiting for anybody. We're going out there and we're creating the new way of life, the new earth that we want for our kids and our boys and our future babies. We're not waiting for a timeline. We're just living life, brother. And I think that's really important that people claim that power back and just fucking get the job done themselves, because we have all the answers ourselves, really.
Yes.
We sit with ourselves, and we take time to really look within, whether that be through meditation, breath work, or even, as you said, we spoke about just sitting with ourselves and our own thoughts. You know, we've got it all. We've got all the answers already. Just be you, one of one. That's literally it. You are one of one. There is no other person out there like you in a big ass world, 7.5 billion people, whatever it is. You are one of one, and you know, you will live your truth, because if you don't live it, then you know you're just wasting it.
Yes, I love that, Frankie, and thanks for highlighting it, because we are all unique, and we all also come here with a purpose on our heart. And for me, it's in the discovery of learning what the medicine is on our heart that we get to transition into. You find what you love and you never work a day in your life. You know, that cliche thing. But it's true. Once you land into your heart with your purpose, it becomes like a lot of this work I do. You know, I don't get paid for a lot of it, most of it, just some of it. You know, but I love it. I've never worked this hard in my life, I'll be honest, when I was on a building site or anything. And once I put the tools down, I put them in the car, that was it. I switched off from that world and I went about my life, you know. Whereas this and being of service and giving to people lights me up. So for the listener, if just try new things and try new things, and that's where you find it's in the failure or what you don't like. After you don't like so many things, you discover what you do like.
You don't know what you don't know, so just give it a go.
Exactly. So, Frankie, with that said, then let's quickly go to France. So you you still had a couple of years left in your contract, and
Yeah.
you and your queen, tell us.
Yeah. Listen, it came at the perfect time, to be honest. A lot of heat we were receiving as a family, in regards to the measles outbreak in Samoa, in back end of 2019. A lot of hate we were receiving as a family, just for obviously our values and who we are as people, and obviously adding to that we are actually Samoans as well.
Uh-huh.
So for the move to for the move to go to France was always something that I actually had on my mind, to be honest. It's funny, like looking back at my career early on when me and Tay first started dating and we were living in England, I always said, listen, I want to play in Japan. I want to play in
Oh, so
France.
cool.
And like, on it, no joke, I remember the day, and like literally, probably like 8, 6, 7, whatever, how many years later it was, I've ticked off both those things. And to finish up in France was always on my mind, because that was the one thing that I had yet to do when I spoke it out, into the universe, into the world. So it was a beautiful time for us just to go there, live on the other side of the world. But with France and obviously with the COVID situation, man, shit was going down left, right, and center, and it's still to this day. The French president Macron is pretty out there, and he's pretty ruthless when it comes to mandates, when it comes to all these things that just doesn't resonate with our family. He's banned homeschooling, he's banned home births.
Wow.
So for me, it was like, am I gonna keep on playing footy, live in this world where I'm a footy player, or is it time to let go of something that no longer serves me, and really respect and honor my wife and let her be free? And she's always supported me from day one. As I said, she's left her family, her job aspirations, her career aspirations, and just supported me wherever I go. And she sat in the rain, she's been in freezing cold weather, she sat out in the hot sun watching me play footy. So it was really time for me to say, you know what, I've been blessed, man. I've had an amazing career. Let's fucking pack up the bags and go home. It is what it is. I can go home here content. I'm leaving on my terms. I'm not injured. I've still got a contract. But with what's going on in the world, especially with the flights and coming into Australia with all these mandates, jab mandate, I was like, nah, I'm not waiting. Let's just do it. Let's pull the trigger, and here we are. So we've got a beautiful connection to all our family over there in France, our soul family. We were very blessed to land in a team with so many like-minded individuals, and honestly, it was like meant to be. And I talk to these boys every day and their families every day. They all come from Australia actually, but they've been living in France for a very long time, and they landed in my team, and there are no mistakes, bro. And I'm really looking forward to the day that we reunite with the boys over here in Australia. And just looking forward to what we can create in this beautiful world, alongside families like yours and so many other families who are really
Mm-hmm.
trying to create this beautiful new earth.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just what sticks out for me there is it's how the universe and life brings us full circle
Mm,
sometimes.
yeah.
And the
Oh,
full
for sure.
circle I'm recognizing here is the way Taylor supported you throughout your whole career
Mm,
and traveled around the world with you, and now
mm,
you've come full circle with that and gave up that career in order to come back
mm,
home with her and with her
yeah.
dream, and now travel, not even travel but flow. It's like it feels and sounds like a
Mm,
flow. There wasn't, it sounds like a flow state.
yeah. No, listen, it wasn't an easy journey. Like, honestly, it was massive ego death to really let go of that and
The
think,
rugby.
fuck, I've really got to step up now. And, thankfully, I had, one thing I'll always mention is that during our discussions of me leaving France, I was like, fuck, what am I going to do, babe? And she's like, what do you mean? What are you going to do? You've literally been like studying your whole NRL career. You've been doing a lot of well-being, mental health stuff. You've recently, completed your breathwork facilitation. This is it, babe. This is it. This is your journey. I was like, fuck, she's right. It's time to step up, and step out and really walk the walk. So yeah, man, it's been beautiful. And like, I'm just really honored and so blessed. I was talking about my wife a lot, but honestly, she's really changed my life in every sense. She's given me hope and faith at times where I've looked at the darkest sides of me and thought that there's actually no way out. And my wife's always been there to pick up the pieces and really drive me forward and put that next foot forward. So yeah, I love you, babe. I know you're listening to this, and yeah.
Yeah, she's an absolute
Looking forward to my
legend.
birthday present tomorrow.
Yeah, she just got you a new farm. You're welcome.
Yeah, true.
Well, now a gift is your baby. Gift is a new life.
Mm,
And
yeah.
would you believe when I forgot to mention this on our call on Sunday, the call with the Families for Freedom.
Yeah.
That when I seen you guys, I knew I was going to work with you at some stage. I just didn't
Oh
know how or
wow.
when or what I was going to case. But
Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, these are my people, because as I explained on the
Mm,
call, my heart and mindset has been a particular way for a
yeah.
long time. And when when you resonate with people, you're like, these are my fucking
That's it.
people.
Family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are my people. So yes to that. And also, as you were explaining there about the career and again stepping into, fuck, if I'm not a rugby player, who am I? Who
Yeah.
is my identity? Can you
Yeah.
elaborate on the uncomfort of transitioning into the role you're
Yeah.
doing now?
Yeah. Listen, obviously there's a lot of self-doubt. For those who don't know, like I've footy's been my whole life, as I've said before, but I've recently, discovered, the power of breath work, and been doing breathwork for myself for a long time recently. But I wish I had discovered breathwork when I was 18, when I was walking into the Roosters. I wish I had all the answers, but I didn't. But it wasn't until probably early 2019 that breathwork really got me by surprise. I'm like, wow, what is this? And I've had some beautiful journeys with breathwork. I'm not into drugs, and I've never throughout my whole career touched anything. I've even smoked weed, and something that I really want to probably pursue later on. And so for me to experience all these like lights and all these beautiful images, like, wow, this is crazy. My mind is blown. And I had some beautiful encounters with, my grandfather who's passed, and some, heartfelt moments during breath work. So that's why I like, what, I need to dive deep into it more, find out, the science behind it, and get into it. So when, when the time does finish up and footy does finish up, I'll be ready to rock and roll with breath work. But, not knowing at that time, it was literally a month, 2 months later, because, in my head, I'm thinking, 24, 48 months later, I got 2-3 years left in me, 35, probably play some park footy in France, finish up in maybe 37. But you know what? This was 2 months later. And I'm like, fuck, this has happened really quick. A lot of self-doubt came into my mind and said, am I up for it? And then, my wife was like, babe, you've got this. You've been a leader your whole
Yeah.
life. You just don't know it. So many people have looked up to you from day one. I was like, wow, you know what? You're right. And like, it's probably like just expectation. I didn't want to let anyone down, didn't want to fail. Had all these things running through my mind. And I was like, you know what? I just got to trust that, I'm led to do this work. I've, since I've been back in Oz, I've had some beautiful experiences with families like yourself. We've held some beautiful containers, Tay and I, we've healing the home with families who are struggling. And, I get these messages daily, like, thank you so much for, blessing us with your gift. And I was like, man, okay, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. This is it. And yeah, just diving deep into that. So like, again, big risk, big reward. But, I'm not scared of judgment. I'm not scared of fucking up. I've dropped the ball many a times in my footy career.
Yeah,
I've cost us
yeah,
games many a times, but obviously I'm
yeah.
disappointed. But I'm there the next week. I'm doing the training during the week, and then I'm playing the weekend after. So it is what it is, and it's a ride. It's a journey. It's not always going to be easy, but you just got to keep lacing up the boots and just get
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
across the line and play.
And it's a great analogy for life as well. But it's a literal analogy for you about dropping the ball.
Mm. Yeah.
And something you said there about self-doubt, which again I
Mm.
will highlight, a man of your stature, like professionally,
Mm.
um, just to show and allow the listener to hear that regardless of what level we may perceive
Oh
some
yeah.
people to be at, we all
Yeah.
have our internal battles. And if you want to
Mm.
elaborate on that, the journey through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think self-doubt's a good thing at times, to be honest, because
Mhm.
there's overconfidence, there's been arrogant. But if you have that self-doubt, you're at that place where you have the awareness, okay, things could go wrong, but I'm okay with that. as long as I give 100, as long as I really try my best with every intention of my being, and if I'm still not good enough, or you know what, fuck it, you know, it wasn't meant to be. There's lessons there.
Yeah.
And you know, there are no mistakes. There's literally no mistakes. You know, whether that be meeting people, whether that be things not going your way, it's just trying to sit back and think, okay, what was the lesson in that? How come that didn't happen? How come that didn't unfold? Was I forcing it? Was I trying too
Mm.
hard? You know, was I trying to be someone else instead of being myself, doing my way? So yeah, it is what it is, and you know, never be afraid of the outcome, whatever it may be. You know, you
Yes.
win some, you lose some. It's like the old saying: you win some, you lose some, but you know, you live to go another day.
Yeah, yeah. I love
So
that. I love that. And yes, I nearly lost my train of thought there. Yeah, I was just saying that with with everything that you've been through and like the likes of personal development work, like these both going through these situations by yourself and then also having
yeah,
the support of your queen, and then also like
yeah,
doing the training of the breath work. That's what I was about to
yeah,
say. You've literally now you can literally breathe out because you've done the transition.
yeah.
That was the joke I had earlier, but
Oh,
now
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, personal development. How important is personal development to you in your life?
mm. Yeah. Well, listen. I've done a lot of things recently, probably from 2019, that have been like profound. But
Hmm.
going back before that, through footy, obviously we do a lot of team bonding, coaching courses. But man, like that stuff doesn't even scratch the surface. After you've
Yes.
gone through personal development rooms and like been in there and fucking exposed all your shit in front of strangers, it's not in the
Yes.
same game. Like it's literally different. And yeah, like probably yeah, mind blown from the I did the bridge experience and extreme with Preston
Yes.
and Alexi
Yeah, they're my
back in
mentors.
2019, and man, that was the catalyst, easily the catalyst to find out, you know, really who am I. And
Yeah.
the only reason why I went is because my wife Tay did it the year previously, I'm pretty sure. And like obviously my footy schedule was always hard to try and squeeze in this with weekends and whatnot, but it just sort of happened to open up. You know, there are no mistakes. That was definitely meant for me. And fuck, man, that was daunting. Like
Hmm.
you know, I'll play in front of 30, 40, 50,000 people, and not break a sweat sometimes. It is what it is. I feel good. All right,
Yeah,
I'm in the
yeah.
zone, but to speak a truth, your dead set truth, and be exposed and in front of a room of strangers with 20 people. But this container was like, man, it was tight and it was powerful, and just to fucking go there was like nothing I've ever experienced. And that was where I really brought up a lot of the trauma and a lot of the shit that I'd suppressed for fucking
Yes.
years. And after that, I had to, really had a beautiful conversation with my wife, and just, basically what I shared with the group, I hadn't shared to not a single human being my whole life. Only I
Oh,
knew that I was willing to take that stuff to my grave, man, and to really go there and
wow.
be vulnerable. And yeah, it was, not only was it a massive weight off my shoulder, man, like fuck, as soon as I told my missus and Tay, like she was like, fuck, okay,
Wow.
this thing's starting to make sense. And like, yeah, I really honestly thought, a lot of these traumas that I'd take to my grave, bro. And I just, can't think, how heavy I was, not obviously physically, but just that weight that I was
Yeah,
holding for
yeah,
so
yeah.
long. I was able to, through footy, obviously I can, you know, bang out the punching bag and tackle someone and smash someone and let go of residue, little glimpses of what
Yeah,
that stuff
yeah.
I was bottling up. But man, when actually speaking it out, I was like, fuck, okay, that's it. That's what I needed. And then about I was a mess. I was just sobbing and crying, and
Yeah.
it just felt so good to release all that. So yeah, it changed my whole marriage too, to be honest, because after saying that out loud to the group, that was the first thing I did to tell my wife once we got back. And fuck, she just, a lot of the missing pieces of the puzzle that I was giving my wife, it just made sense to her, and she was like, okay, this is exactly what going on. This is why you behave like this. Yeah, it just made sense, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, I just got so much love for those two and really appreciate that timing of it all because it came at the perfect time.
Yeah, and just before I share my story, fucking, it's almost word for word yours,
Yeah.
and this is how I arrived into where I am right now, the same,
Beautiful.
yeah. But
Yeah.
quickly, can you elaborate on the feeling of, yeah, how you felt after you got those things out of your system? Because also what I
Yeah.
will highlight for
Oh,
the listener is as you heard Frankie say, we was going to being aggressive with pads in on the football field, and
mm,
you are releasing some of it, but
mm,
this level of trauma, and it stays in the body on the cellular level.
mm.
So you're not
Yep.
only speaking it out; every fiber of your being is shaking at the same time as
Yeah.
speaking it out.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate to the listener what it's like to finally get that stuff out of your system?
Yeah, honestly, you've hit the nail on the head in regards to that cellular level because my body was like fitting inside. Like I don't know if people could see it, but inside I was like a mess, and there was still stuff that like in my body was trying to protect itself and like keep it down and not say it, but I knew I had to like release and confess and let go of all these things, and yeah, it literally just it's just like I don't know, like, it's hard to explain. It's like a whole way, a whole spirit just come through your body and out, literally out. You're just releasing all this pressure, all this toxicity in within your body at a cellular level. So much trauma I had suppressed and put in the darkest places and the deepest places of my body that, and as I said, I was willing to go to my grave with all these experiences, to be honest. And fuck, man, I needed that big time. Not only for myself right now, but the little boy inside just needed to
Yeah,
confess all these things, so I can, really, I guess, give him the space to heal. And it's been a massive catalyst to my healing journey since that. The bridge and
yes,
extreme weekends,
yeah,
and the work really starts, especially having two boys. I
yeah.
really feel there are no mistakes, and the reason why I've had two boys is to really parent them and nurture them exactly the way that I always wanted to be as a kid.
Yes, I
So
love
yeah,
it. Can you let us know like what the difference in your life and your mindset, like before then and probably
yeah.
today?
I think it's just honoring myself and like, just giving me the praise that I always wanted. Like I'm beautiful. I'm everything. I'm love. I am light. All the above. And like I never thought that about myself. Really. Like I love my missus. I loved my kids. But to go to peel it all back like that was it's just, and I think it's just the openness that I have now with my wife, because obviously I was holding something from her.
Yeah.
Not really, not letting her into this period of my life. I was taking away the opportunity for her to hold space for me. And whoever knows my wife knows that she is more than capable of holding me, of seeing me, of hearing me in my mess. And I was so embarrassed of these experiences that I was willing to take it to the grave, and I didn't want to burden her with that. But she was ready. She was just wanted to hear me, for me being 100% authentic. So it completely changed the game, bro. And honestly, I can just talk about this forever because it's literally been the catalyst to a lot of things. And even though at the time it was frightening, it was so scary. It's probably one of the scariest things I've done, or if not the scariest thing I've done in my life, being exposed to all, this big release, like actually releasing it out of my body. I'm just so proud of myself for being brave enough to do it, man. Because life
Yeah.
hasn't been the same. It's literally changed my life
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah, for me, I don't know how I found this documentary. I mentioned it in the last episode, but the abundance factor, it's called. So
Okay.
the abundance factor, and
Mm,
one of my favorite speakers in there was Alexi, and
mm,
I was one of those ones where I'm gonna work with you at some stage. And this was before I knew this world existed. This was just,
Yeah.
or I would meet you was what I believed. And yeah, fast forward a year or two, and I was in a room. That's how I met Preston. I was in a room with both of them, and the same. I had all of this trauma trapped in my body, and I like ended up in the same position in a room full of people, like absolutely bawling, shaking to a point where I couldn't actually speak what was going on or what I was trying to get out of my system. And yeah, immediately after that, I was like, you know, the world needs to fucking have these tools. My people are suffering, and my friends are suffering. Some of my friends have committed suicide, and like, so in my mind and my heart, it was like, these tools are available to the masses, but people are suffering in silence. And so, like, it was in that moment I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. But I was still a scared little boy. I still had a long way to go before I got to where I'm at now. I was afraid of people hearing me speak about spirituality and love and all of that type of stuff, and then being on camera.
Bro.
So that was a big process as well. And then fast forward a couple more years, and Preston was my direct mentor. And I spent the last year working for him in Kaboom, and learning from like high
He's
level
epic,
coaches. Yeah, they're fucking incredible. So Frankie, tell us about first of all, quick touch on you. You've just moved from Sydney onto your farm. How big is it?
Yeah, listen, we've got acres. It's pretty big. We
love it.
We actually went, or I'll probably go back to France, to be honest, because when we first moved to France, I wanted to live right in the city centre of Toulouse and experience and the culture, the French culture, the cafes, the bakeries, everything. So we were right in the middle of France. Yeah, baguettes every day. But obviously Toulouse, the city went into lockdown, and we were in lockdown for 55 days, hard lockdown, literally only 1 hour to leave the house in France, in our city side apartment, 3 bedrooms, 2 kids, no backyard, literally one by probably 1.5 meters by 2 meters was our little AstroTurf backyard. And we were in an apartment where there was a neighbor up top and neighbor up bottom and down the bottom. So we were in the middle. So yeah, listen, 55 days of that was an eye opener. And then you know what, we were like, nah, this is not on. As soon as we get out of here, I'm telling the club to move mountains. I want to go to the countryside. I want some space. I need something. So we got out of lockdown. You know, the club bent over backwards and got us into a beautiful countryside, chateau out, probably like a 20-minute drive. And I was happy to drive. I've gone from 2-minute drive to training to a 20-minute, 30-minute drive to training, which was all good. But yeah, living on that little countryside piece of land, I was like, bro, this is it. Like, we were so happy. Our kids were running amok. We had literally no trees, tractor. You can see tractors, all these beautiful vegetation growing. The veggie farms. I was like, man, this is it. This is amazing. You know, when we get back home, we're settling up in Sydney and going to buy a farm, and that's it. So we got back from Sydney, did our quarantine, bullcrap, 2 weeks, got out, and I was like, that's it. Get our house on the market ASAP. But wifey was like, nah, let's just wait. Let's just wait. And I was like, what do you mean wait? We were speaking about going to a farm for so long. Let's go. She said, no, let's just wait. And I was all right, okay, just trust, you know, the intuitive guidance there that Tay's got. And I was like, okay, we waited. And then we decided to put it on the market not so long ago. Got an amazing price for our place. And then, yeah, bro, this property came up and it was like, this is it. Which we thought we made an offer on this house without even selling our other house. So we were like just winging it the whole way.
Trusting.
Like, this is it, man. This has got to be it. We had so many signs on our drive-in that this was the property. And then, man, long story short, we ended up getting it. And we've been here 2 weeks now, and it's been the best. Honestly, the kids are so happy. We have a beautiful creek down the bottom. So many beautiful trees and nature, the wildlife. All I hear is birds 24/7. And honestly, like, it's been beautiful. Like, I go to sleep and I hear birds chirping. I wake up, I hear birds chirping, and it's just epic. I'm just really grateful, and I'm pumped and excited for what we can create on this beautiful land. and just really grateful for our beautiful journey in France, which sort of was the stimulus. Okay, this is what we want. This is what we need. We're really into this vibe. Let's do it. Let's do something about it, especially what's going on in the world. We really want to grow our own food. We really want to, maintain a beautiful home, loving environment with what's going on, and just piss everyone off, in a good way. Just do our own thing. We have a community. We want to just be in our own little bubble, just rely on ourselves. We're not relying on anyone else. Like I spoke about before, about putting people on a pedestal. We're taking back our own power.
Yes.
We want to get some animals on here, and just have lots of chickens, have eggs, do all the things. Get some cows on here, some sheep, whatever it is, and just really live off the land and go back to how people were living back in the day. Especially, our Samoan people back in the islands didn't have much, but they just live off the land. And one day, hopefully we get some banana plantation going at the back somewhere. Beautiful weather up here, so I'm sure it will grow. Really looking forward to that, brother. It's tough. We have no idea. Very green. Honestly, I have no idea, but you know what? Learn on the run. It's what we do. We pivot. We just learn. We find out ways to do things.
Yeah, incredible. I've got friends there. I said it in the group. They're not far from you guys, who are what's it called? Syntropic Farm. They've got in the back garden, and I helped them I helped do some of the work there, and I helped do some of the harvest there on the way up the coast and then the way back down the coast. But he's Brazilian, she's from Sydney. But to hear how it all works, it's like, at first I thought there was only 10 fruit and veg, maybe 20. But man, there's over 100. My mind, and in like an acre, and my brain was like, when he was explaining what was there, I was like, what? I couldn't comprehend so many different fruit and vegetables in such a small space.
No, it's epic. That's definitely what we have planned, just to really utilize all the space. Obviously have some space where we can sit in ceremony and have beautiful experiences, retreats, or whatever it may be, but also make sure that we set aside a land just to grow, not only for us but for our community, for our neighbors. We're all in this beautiful co-creation together. Why not support each other? And we're very grateful that we have beautiful friends, neighbors, who just pop by and make sure we're settling well. If you need any help, just give us a shout. Real country vibe. So no, it's good. And I'm getting used to driving and just giving everyone a little wave. Submerging ourselves in the country vibe.
I'm loving your country. The tartan shirts and the cowboy hats. And, full country.
I'll tell you what.
And the wellies.
We definitely stick out like dog's balls around here, but we'll give us a few months.
We'll blend in. So I just want to bring it back to the start, and something you just mentioned now, and just connect the two dots around intuition. Both of the times it was Tay, one with the going to the hospital with Ziggy, and then secondly it was with selling the house. And can you just tap into the importance of us trusting our intuition?
For sure. It's guided us so many times, to be honest, and just really knowing that we are protected, that we are guided. Like nothing in our lives that has happened to us hasn't been for us. Literally, when we think about it like that, everything that's happened to us has been for us. Whether it's we might have failed at something, but it's not a failure, it's just a lesson. So, and then as a man also, and as a husband, just really surrendering that authority, if you want to say, to your missus, and saying like, babe, nah. And it's like, oh, okay, I really wanted to do this, but you know what, you haven't let me down. I love you, I trust you, let's do this. And she's hit the nail on the head, time and time again. Those are just two examples, but my wife is definitely in touch, and she's a force to be reckoned with, like you said from the start. And I'm so grateful, man, honestly. I couldn't think of my life without her, in my life. Like it'd just be
that's incredible. I love it, Frank. Two last questions. First is the your vision for the future. Your vision for the future of the world.
Listen, it's already here. Like honestly, paradise is already here. It's literally already here. I think the consciousness of what is circulating at the moment is all driven by fear. It's all driven by media. It's all driven by people who are hurt, who are traumatized. I think, once we really peel it all back, like we literally have everything that we need right now. It's about us sorting that, bringing it home. What do we need from here? What do we need from there? Okay, I need a bit more knowledge, need a bit more education around syntropic farming. Okay, let's do that. What can I've got, X amount of months to get this syntropic farming patch organized and ready to harvest. Let's do that. I think, we don't want to outsource all our power. We have it all within us. The beautiful world. Find yourself community that have the same values as you. But, it's really hard for some people to find that community. They feel like they're literally the only one who thinks this way, but it's because they're not speaking out aloud their truth. And when you speak your truth out aloud, you draw in, oh, wow, you're the same as me. I'm on that same wavelength. But, it's hard. It's fucking hard to initially say what you want to say without, all this external noise from, family, from friends, from your work colleagues, whatever it may be. But when you've had enough and you're like, man, this is the only way. You've got to be brave. You've got to be bold and just speak your truth. And then you call in all this beautiful family. They never knew this about you because you never spoke it out loud. But now you're there. You just bring it, and you just really amazed with all the synchronicities that you actually have with connections, far and wide. It's all within us all. And, once we start speaking our authentic truth, I think that's probably the first and hardest hurdle to cross. And then the world, you realize the world is a beautiful place already, and it's just about cultivating that connections, that community.
Beautiful, Frankie. Thank you for your time. Of one last question. So, the podcast,
hit me, brother, hit me.
The podcast.
Yeah.
What does the waves of change mean to you?
Waves of change. I think it's literally breaking down all the stereotypes of mankind. And I think as men, we've got to go first. We've got to give permission to others to be their authentic self, man, to show, the ugly side, to show the dark side, to show that they are not perfect, that they do drop the ball, like I said, and that's okay. We're living in a world where there's fake everything, fake people, fake food, fake weather, whatever it may be, fake medicine. But when we just be real, literally be real, come back to that beautiful divine state of living in your truth from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, then that's it, man. It's that simple, really. You just give permission for others to live in your light. We're living behind filters. We're living behind all these, I guess, expectations. But when we let go of all that, when we release that, I think that's when life starts to happen and starts working for us, because it always is working for us. So, yeah, bro, that's where I see this going. And hopefully, with every episode, you just reach a different person. With another episode, you start a conversation somewhere else. And that's that little ripple effect just going through like the wave, man.
Yes, Frankie. Thank you. I loved all of that. Frankie, thank you for your time, brother. Exciting times ahead. Looking forward to staying connected and working and seeing what we cultivate together as a unit, a collective community, a collection of like-minded people. So again, further on from the call on Sunday, I want to extend my deepest gratitude for allowing me into your circle, and and my family too. So cheers, brother, and thanks for coming on the call.
Anytime, my man, anytime. Thank you guys so much for blessing our container with your energy, with your beautiful bubbly spirit. We truly appreciate you guys, and as you said, just co-creating beautiful things. There is no hierarchy, there is no us versus them. Everyone is just in flow. There's space for everybody to do what they need to do for this world, because there's a lot of healing out there to be done. So the more healers we have, the more people providing medicine, providing that authenticity, just being yourself, giving permission to others is, that's what's going to set this new trend and create this new world that we want for our babies.
Yes, bro. Give my love to the fam, and I will
Will
speak to
do,
you
man.
soon.
Likewise. Thank you,
Peace.
my brother. Peace,
Woo.
people. Thank you.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. If anything resonated for you, please leave a comment below. If there's anyone who may need to hear, please share. I love this. Have a lovely day.